We're talking UNA baseball in this Lion Vision update presented by CB&S Bank. We're going to catch up with UNA head coach Mike Keehn and talk about the class that he signed just a few weeks ago. 7 high school seniors signed with North Alabama, 2 pitchers, 4 infielders, and 1 utility player. Coach, we're going to get to know these guys in this update. But first off, sum up this class. What's the quality of athlete coming in?
Well, I thought we really filled some of the holes we need. I thought obviously Coach McGregor and especially Coach Tachika, who's our recruiting coordinator, did just a tremendous job. You know, we had to kind of isolate on, okay, what are some of the needs, what we wanted to do, and really felt this group fell in place rather early. We got a lot of early commitments well before the time, and then obviously a lot of things changed, and you know, you got to give credit to them and how hard we worked to maintain them, but you know, I like to thank their families for sticking with us throughout this pandemic, because you know, it could have changed dramatically. But as far as a group, you know, I really like how our 2020 class is playing out this fall. But on paper and just how well they did this past summer, I think this is a really talented 2021 group, and start pushing us forward. I think they're all going to make an impact when they come into this campus.
2 from Alabama, 3 from Georgia, 1 from Connecticut, 1 from Florida. Kind of spread out all over. What was it like recruiting these guys during the pandemic?
Well, it was obviously we try to get the best players that fit our program and get them from all over we can. And you know, this sometimes it's works out where you get some locally. You know, we did try there and had some offers, but sometimes you got to spread out because the competition is pretty great in Alabama. But I think part of this is, and you know, Anthony does a really good job of trying to get some character first and try to get a feel, see how they're going to fit our program. And I think if you look at the personalities, the academic success they have, the way they are as teammates, the way they approach everything, it didn't really matter where they're from. They just really fit what we like here at the University of North Alabama, especially in our baseball program. So, you know, it's just good to get them on campus when we could. We're fortunate to have them on campus before all that hit.
Let's meet the members of the signing class. Let's start with the pitchers. Caden Barnett from Coleman, Alabama. What sort of arm are you getting out of him?
Caden is obviously he's a very high potential guy. Was at Coleman High School, and now I see he's at the Next Level Academy. 6'5", right now he's probably in that 87, topping out at 88 range, but he went there to kind of make some adjustments on his pitching. So we think he's probably going to end up being a you know, 88 to 90, maybe plus iron guy. He's really made some raw progress. Has kind of an arm that's going to be developing, you know, has competitiveness, but he's got that size, and you know how it is when you sign him that young. He's got a lot of growth to take place. He hasn't filled out yet, so I think you're going to see him really jump this year. Really excited about him in our program. Bryce
Engel from Calhoun, Georgia, another righty. What does he look like?
Now, Bryce is real interesting. Bryce is not one of your taller guys. I always say he's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, but he is probably one of the most competitive guys that we've seen. Enjoy having conversations with him. Very honest. But he's got, you know, he's got a legit 88 to 91, tops out of 92. You know, they do those pull downs. I know he's been up as high as 97, 98 on the pull down. So he's got an electric arm. But the thing that really kind of sets him apart, very, very good secondary stuff. So he's got a guy that can really pitch. I think he's going to be a guy that's going to come in somewhere. I think that's what's so great about him. He could be a starter, could be a middle. He could probably end up being a closer. I think he's got the capabilities of competing. He's just so competitive, and really excited about him.
We'll go down to Pike Road, Alabama for the next player. Carson Howard, the utility, a pitcher and a shortstop. What's his future hold?
Yeah, I think, you know, Carson, another very good arm, 88, 90 mile an hour arm. Very athletic, as you can tell, because he is one of the shortstops for his high school team, and actually hit over 400, I think, this summer. So that's going to be one of the challenges that we're going to try to figure out with him. Obviously, we like giving freshmen an opportunity to do both. I think he's going to have a chance to do that, but I think as far as on the mound is where he's going to probably be able to come in and pitch for us right away. Again, another guy that has ability to throw secondary pitches for strike along with good location and a fastball. So very, very good arm, and another guy that I think is going to come in and pitch for us right away.
The next player that you signed, he has a baseball name, Garrig Fry, a shortstop, Alpharetta, Georgia. What sort of player are you getting out of him?
Garrig is, he was actually in this group, one of the last ones we were able to get commitments, which were all pretty early. Garrig Fry really came into his own, and he really filled out over this past year. He's a shortstop that has played second, has played third, so he can play all 3 positions. Switch hitter, but really what he ended up doing is a very good offensive player. He's just a good player. Great character guy. But I think what I really was impressed with him over the summer is his ability to use the whole field. He showed some power to the other way. So I think he's going to be obviously going to make an impact, but I think he's going to really be able to swing the bat for us.
The next player has an interesting connection to North Alabama. Jonathan Lane from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Tell us his story.
Yeah, Jonathan, actually his connection is his dad is a pastor for the Florida Marlins. And if you all know, Josh Willingham played for the Florida Marlins. So they were obviously with the Joshes, if anybody knows around, with his Church of Christ and the religion there. So obviously they had a lot of connections. So he just kind of knew Josh was here, knew we had to school. I'm sure Josh talked about it. So they came up for a visit and then obviously saw the campus, and then Josh remembered him as a little kid when he was out on the field and didn't know much about where he is. And I told him, I said, he's pretty good. But Jonathan, to be honest with you, is an unbelievable athlete. He was actually got recruited for some Division I schools in football. He's a defensive back, can run. He's played shortstop, but he's really a utility guy. He can play pretty much a second, third, outfield, you name it. Just a guy that's just an athlete. And I think once he hits baseball full time, I just think you're going to see kind of unlimited potential in that young man.
We're going up to Connecticut for this next player from Kingston, Connecticut, Luke Lappy, a first baseman. Tell us about him.
Yeah, Luke is kind of a guy we got in on early and really came down and really enjoyed it. But Luke is one of those guys. He's kind of a self-made hitter, very, very easy stroke, very easy power. It was one of those things we felt we had to address to try to get some more power into the program, and he's definitely one of those guys. You see 6'3" right now, so he's probably going to be a 6'3", 6'4" guy, probably going to grow another inch, but he's going to put on weight. But he's really showed some power numbers starting to jump into that. And the thing I like about him, the stroke is really easy, has ability to not only hit for average, but he's another guy that can go the other way. So I think a lot of really good offensive things for him in the future.
The seventh player we'll talk about, Quinn Petty, a third baseman from Cumming, Georgia. So we'll come back down south for this one, but wrap up the signing class with him, Coach.
Yeah, Quinn was he actually came to our showcase in the summer and really stuck out, especially when I was watching him, because obviously I worked with the infielders and I watched how his actions were very, very advanced. At that time was a very young guy that showed some pop at the plate, but he just fell in love with UNA. It was one of those areas he did a lot of showcases there, but his talent is extremely high. He's a guy that can really swing the bat, really has improved his game. Especially defensively, he was really good, but also his offense has really come into his own. He's actually a couple weeks ago over at Texas at a showcase at where the Texas Rangers play, and out of 18 chances to hit, he hit 9 home runs, and they actually hit one 455 feet. So, and that's what the guy's got a full another year in high school. So I think he's going to be a special player for us. But he's just kind of like the whole group. I thought, like I said, we did a really good job, especially Coach DeChico bringing in really quality guys, but some very good players.
To wrap it up, Coach, we're heading into our third year of the Division I transition. These guys will be on the fourth Division I team. Didn't get much of a season last year, so you really kind of have two freshman classes right now. But how are you seeing these young guys continue to progress, and how will these guys fit into the mix?
I think they're going to fix in really make an immediate impact. But we kind of looked at as we went into this process, it's kind of learning as you go and what direction. So we obviously went pretty heavy with the high school players. That was kind of what the ASUN does. You see a lot of them do. And what I saw this fall, especially with the arms that we signed, and they did very well. So I liked that's a future on that mound coming in. Mixed it in with some freshman position players. This was a heavier position player class. I really think if they'll continue to develop, stay healthy, everything goes as planned, I think that 2023, when we're eligible for that regional play, is what we're kind of setting up for. And I think those guys are all going to have a year under their belt, plus the other 2 years of juniors and sophomores. I really do think we have a chance to be much more competitive, and I think this has got a chance, the group that maybe is going to take us to that next step and get a chance to play some postseason ball.
For a full rundown on the signing class, be sure and visit roarlions.com. Coach Keehn, thank you for the time.
Thank you very much.